just once a day that I would pray for you. I'd go and misbehave just so you'd notice too. Sneaking looks up and down from across the room. Damn, what a hell of a view. I feel good, you look great, I like you, I can't wait. A first time, a first date, you're so fine, I'm so late. You sip wine, I drink straight, don't waste time to my place. I feel my heart erase, so catch me if I fall.
Good evening. Sorry, I'm in the dark. This is literally last few minutes. Quickly did a thumbnail, quickly went live. Colm has literally joined me as well. I know you're ill, so big up for you to joining me. But it has been announced, Graham Potter has been sacked. I'm surprised it's lasted this long, to be fair, if I'm perfectly honest. The process, the project, whatever they want to call it at Chelsea, has totally gone wrong. Colm, what's your opinions on it, mate?
You know what? I think it was me and you that was on here breaking the news that he was going to Chelsea. I think it seems a bit fitting that we're the ones on here again now. It's been a long time coming, I think. He did fantastically well at Brighton. And it just looks like that this step up to Chelsea was a little bit too much of a step up. The team's not been performing well at all.
It hasn't. It's been absolutely awful all season. Obviously, losing 2-0 to Aston Villa yesterday. But it's also, for me, his words. It was the stats are backing up what we're doing here. And I'm like, stats are one thing. Performances are what you need in the Premier League. No matter what, that is what you need. And you're not getting them. So, I thought they might wait till the Champions League, which would have been inevitable against Real Madrid, if I'm perfectly honest. But he's obviously pulled the trigger. I would say that he's definitely lost the dressing room. The players are now turned on him. Once you lose the dressing room, you've lost your job. All faith has gone. Obviously, I think it was David Ornstein that broke the news first, and then Fab followed it up. But they have been awful all season. I've watched a few. I think the only game I've actually been impressed with is they drew to 2-2 with Tottenham. Obviously, I do loads of watch-alongs, but all the other games, they've been awful. I remember one that I said about Koulibaly. I don't know if you were with me on that one. I was so impressed by Koulibaly, but they've just been awful ever since. What about you, Cole?
I mean, this is a Chelsea side that we expect to see challenging for top four pretty much every season. They're currently sat in 11th.
Yeah.
So not even top half of the season. I mean, if you look at Graham Potter's stats at Chelsea, played 31 games. They've won 12. 12. That's not good enough. It isn't good enough at all. His win percentage is 38.7%. It's far too low. Far too low. Obviously, I know there's been issues within Chelsea, and all the signings and the takeout, all this kind of stuff. But as manager, you're the final shield, really. You have to take the responsibility, and the responsibility has fallen on him. He hasn't got the players working how he wanted them to. I don't think the players really want to play his philosophy and his style of football, because it doesn't suit many of them. It really, really doesn't. Let's face it, the players that have come in aren't really Graham Potter's players, apart from probably Cucurella, but none of them are really his sort of players. So I think it was always going to be an uphill battle for Potter, but it's the right decision. Chelsea, as we know, football is a results-based business.
Yeah,
it always will be. Yes, okay, people like my other half, when obviously I told her about this announcement, I need to go upstairs quickly. she was like, but none of the players get sacked. It's like, yeah, they don't, because it all falls on the manager.
Yeah, it is. It's all about results. It has to be, you know, it. For you, how much do you think Todd is to blame for the situation that Potter's in? Because obviously Todd's been the one signing the players. He was doing a lot of it before he actually employed certain individuals for certain roles. So do you feel that Todd should take some responsibility? Do you think that might be why Potter has lasted as long as he has?
I think so. I think the way it's gone about it, Todd came in and was like a bull in a china shop. Personally, he's coming and just took control over everything, transfers, all that kind of stuff. When really you need director of football and stuff for those kind of roles to help the manager out. I don't think Todd really understands the transfer system or the world of football. If I'm going to be honest with you, he doesn't seem like the kind of guy that does understand it completely. So I think he has to take some blame. However, on the flip side of that, Todd's going to be turning. Well, not going to be. Todd has probably turned around to Potter and said, "Look, I've spent £200 million this season on transfers, and I brought you in some players. Enzo Fernandez has come in, top quality player. Koulibaly is no slouch. He's a very good defender. He's brought him in these top talent to come and actually do something and try and progress up the table and challenge for trophies. And they seem to have fallen short at every single attempt. And I think this is probably like the lowest that we've seen Chelsea table-wise, position-wise, in quite a long time.
Yeah, this is definitely pre-Abramovich. This is the Chelsea that I remember. They weren't a force before Abramovich. Really, they occasionally had good spells. They occasionally were quite good in the cups, but they weren't anything really to worry about in a big sense. And now, obviously, that they're a big force, supposedly, but it's just madness, really. Obviously, I've put in the thumbnail about Nagelsmann being possibly in, because do you think him being available, Tottenham obviously looking for a manager, do you think Chelsea want to quickly scoop up Nagelsmann now before Tottenham try and, well, they won't get him, but try and get him?
I mean, if you look on the market of who's available manager-wise, I know Brendan Rodgers has come available as well, but he's going to find it very difficult to get a job higher up in the table, seeing as though he's been struggling this season. Nagelsmann's probably like the best option out there right now for any club. I know Tottenham are going to want him. I've listened to Tottenham fans on different channels and whatnot, and they're absolutely screaming at Daniel to go and get in touch with him and trying to get him in. But I think Chelsea will end up with him, and it'll be a fantastic managerial appointment. However, I think I know he's not watching, but if some reason he does end up watching this show, hello, he needs to actually take a step back and look, because he's going to want his players in control of the team and not somebody above him dictating everything.
Yeah, very true. And I'm pretty sure I'm right in thinking this. But I for some reason, I'm pretty sure Nagelsmann came from Leipzig. Is that right? Who are they getting in summer?
I didn't think about that.
Do you see where I'm going with this? Cucurella signed for Brighton. Who came in? Potter.
Yeah.
Nkunku already set up, already agreed. Who might be coming in? Nagelsmann. It seems a little bit weird to me. I don't think Todd obviously saw Nagelsmann being sacked. I don't think anyone saw Nagelsmann being sacked from Bayern Munich, but he did lose the dressing room there as well. But that's more to do with not him, to do with the Munich players. There's a certain person that's similar to a yogurt. He was a big problem. I'll let you work it out, but it should take too hard. But he was a big problem, and it was for Nagelsmann. And now for Nagelsmann, I'm still confused why these players have this kind of power when Nagelsmann is well touted as the most exciting coach in European, possibly world football. I would definitely say European football, just because I know enough about European football to say it. But and obviously Thomas Tuchel, and it's weird because Thomas Tuchel was sacked at Chelsea for Potter to come in. Potter's now been sacked, and it could be the replacement for. Yeah, it's like it's just weird when you think about it, because Nagelsmann. I'm going to 100% guess that it's Nagelsmann coming in. Personally.
Yeah,
I can't see anyone else.
No, there isn't really anybody else.
No.
If you're going to be honest, there isn't, unless I don't see it unless they decide to go for Antonio Conte again or something like that. I think Nagelsmann is the only option. But I just want to go off what you were saying there about player power. Now, I hate the fact that there's player power. I really do. We've seen it. It's happened here at Chelsea. Obviously, it is results based as well, but this is basically what it's done.
Yeah.
The players don't want to be under Graham Potter, so he's gone. It's happened at, obviously, Bayern Munich with Nagelsmann, and it happened at Spurs with Conte.
Yeah.
All was player power. Now, we've had this issue at Manchester United. We had this issue, when Ralph Rangnick came in. He was looking as if he were going to stay. Player power got involved. Nobody really liked working under him. Jose Mourinho, same thing again. All these things. I think there's too much going off. But there has been apparently a report. This is 3 minutes ago, and it's from Football Transfers. And Nagelsmann has responded to Chelsea Link already.
Has he?
Yes, apparently so. So Sky Sports Germany has reports that the manager who's recently left Bayern Munich, Nagelsmann, is among the short list of options the Blues are looking to replace. But apparently Nagelsmann isn't very keen on replacing Potter at Chelsea. I wonder why. The German manager has also been linked with the vacant manager role at Tottenham. After Antonio Conte has left, Todd Bowley is still backing Potter. It said Todd Bowley is still backing Potter, but we obviously know now that this isn't true anyway. Just trying to see if there's anything else there.
Yeah, you carry on, because obviously it's literally breaking news, so all new things will be coming through still. Even now, I'm just going to see if I can find anything right now, but obviously it is breaking news.
Nagelsmann is in no rush to get into a new job and will wait until the summer to make a decision.
Now, I know why he's going to come out and say that, because he is still employed by Munich. Even though he's been sacked, it's a very strange situation at Munich. As far as I know, I think it's not even just this summer, it's the following summer he's still being paid by Munich. It's some weird deal they've got with him. So even though he's been sacked, he's still employed. So he's not going to be any big rush. However, would you be tempted by the Chelsea job? They've got a lot of talent.
Yeah, they do, but there's still a lot more work that needs to be done at Chelsea.
Yeah.
Fabrizio Romano has just put out here as well that Julian Nagelsmann is the favourite candidate to replace Graham Potter as a new head coach of Chelsea, as reported yesterday, apparently. But he was actually mentioned during internal discussions that they had yesterday, and talks are ongoing to still make the best decision. So there's nothing been finalised. They haven't turned around and said Nagelsmann is the guy we're going for. They could be looking at somebody else. We just don't know as of yet. But when we do, obviously, we will let you know.
Yeah, we'll try and bring you as the best we can. Obviously, we have work and we have lives. We'll try and be as quick and best as we can. We're very lucky tonight that we've actually been available. Colm, bless him, is actually ill, so big up to Colm actually jumping on as well. So it has been a tough one, but we have tried to bring it in. But it is interesting because obviously we did bring the last Chelsea news, which is Potter coming in. And unfortunately, we're now bringing the end of his tenure as well, which hasn't lasted very long, but it really has not gone well at all at Chelsea. It's been awful, if I'm honest. The football just is. I get where people go. Like, I love these. It's mainly the younger generation that go with these stats. Look at the stats. The stats say so much. But if you don't use your eyes and don't read the actual bigger picture, which is the result, they lost 2-0 to Aston Villa. No offence, Ross. I know that you're an Aston Villa fan, but it's not no offence, but it's Aston Villa at home. Chelsea are meant to be challenging for titles. They're in the Champions League. They've spent, was it 500 million this season?
Yeah.
They should not be losing to Aston Villa 2-0, and they've had some really bad results this season. It's not just that one. The problem is, I think the internet's broke because of the news, because I can't get the fixtures up. Which is quite funny.
Which fixtures are you trying to get up?
Well, the latest ones for Chelsea, because honestly, their website has gone down.
It doesn't surprise me.
Their website's gone down. So hang on, see if I can find some. Because I think I can if I do it on this one. Yeah, there we go. If I just type it in here, I'll be able to find it on the system. Right. So Chelsea's last result. Hang on, that's fixtures. No, I want results, please. Why can't I? Hang on. There we go. I'm getting it now. I'm getting it. Yeah. Right, Chelsea. There we go. Got you. Right. So last two home games, right? Chelsea 0, Aston Villa 2. Chelsea 2, Everton 2. They beat Leicester 3-1 away. They just about beat Leeds 1-0 at home. They lost 2-0 to Spurs. Lost at home to Southampton. Drew away at West Ham. Drew at home against Fulham. Well, to be fair, drawing against Liverpool is not too bad. Just about beat Crystal Palace. Lost to Fulham. Lost to Man City. Drew to Nottingham Forest. That's just going back to the beginning of the year. They are results that you don't expect from someone that's spent 500 million at all. And you're laughing, but it is. I'm the most non-biased fan ever, but it is kind of funny because this is Chelsea that have basically done FIFA cheat mode. We've given yourself £1 billion, spending money whoever you want, and it's gone absolutely wrong.
What Chelsea have done is what I've had to do. Obviously, if people tuned into the show last Monday, they'll have seen the little show that we did. And then I simulated those teams on a Football Manager. And I've got an in-game editor, so I can just swap people around whenever I can. That's what Chelsea have done this season. They've brought an in-game editor into real life and just gone, right, we'll have you.
Yeah, that's literally what they've done. But let's go for it, because their squad isn't that bad, really, if you think about it. Let's see if I can show you. Because the problem is they have literally broke my internet. Yes, I might have.
A lot of it's not working.
Yeah, it's just not loading. It's just see if I can find. All right, here we go. Players, right? No, honestly, the website is broken. Graham Potter, what have you done? Expelliarmus.
I've got the players up here.
Oh yeah, cool.
Yeah, so obviously they got Mudryk.
Yeah.
Enzo Fernandez, João Felix, Kante, Havertz, Pulisic, Ziyech, Mount, Reece James, your ex-favourite player in the world, Aubameyang, Fofana, Sterling, Thiago Silva, Ariza Balaga, Zakaria, Conor Gallagher, Koulibaly, Marc Cucurella, Kovacic. A player that I do like quite a lot is Broja as well.
Yeah,
the list just keeps going on and on and on and on of the players that they've got.
Yeah,
but I just mentioned some really talented players there that should comfortably be finishing, between 6th and 3rd.
Yeah, exactly. It's crazy, isn't it? Really, if you think about it. they've got a better midfield than Liverpool.
They've got a
And
better
they-
midfield than United.
I'm not going to bring your team into it. I'm being fair.
No, but
I'm being fair.
But they do. They have a better midfield than United.
Yeah, and they probably have one of the strongest front three. Admittedly, probably not a striker, as I've said for like a season or two now. They need a striker. They can't play Havertz there. Havertz can't score.
Well, they've got a striker coming in next season.
Who do you reckon?
Well, I don't know.
You really think Kane's going to go there?
I don't think Kane will go to Chelsea.
Osimhen?
I think Osimhen might.
Do you right? Seriously, right? You think they're going to spend another 120 plus, because that's the minimum for me for Osimhen, to buy him, even though they've got Nkunku coming in for 60 odd million? Is it something like that?
Yeah, something like that. But I think because of the terrible season that they've had this season, because they're not getting anything this season, they're not getting any kind of European football or anything.
No.
I think we can probably expect to see them. They'll probably get punished for it, and they probably will get punished for it. I reckon we will see them over the whole of the season next season spending about another 300 million.
But the thing is, and we all are fully aware of this, they have to basically open the emergency exits and let about 20 or 30 players out, because they have to balance the books, because they will get into big trouble. And you've seen it at Everton. Everton are getting into big trouble because of the financial losses.
Yeah.
The Premier League are very hot on it right now, and Chelsea can't get away with this.
Well,
yes, they found this loophole with extending contracts and all this stuff, but at the end of the day, fundamentally, they still kind of need to balance the books.
Yeah, they do. But I mean, I think they'll kind of balance themselves out anyway, because obviously João Felix is only on loan. I don't think he'll make a permanent move to Chelsea.
No, not now.
They'll probably let N'Golo Kante go as well because of his age. I don't think they'll keep Ziyech because he seems out of favour at Chelsea at the minute as well. Yeah. Aubameyang, I'm guessing, is going to be going at the end of the season. So there's what, 1, 2, 3, 4 players that are probably on a couple of £100,000. So there's some. Who else is there? I think Raheem Sterling. I don't think he'll be there next season either. Yeah. I'm guessing, either Arrizabalaga or Mendy will probably go as well. So they are going to be reducing a lot of wage budget there. And I think there's other players in that team that clubs will look at and go, I like that player, let's bring them in.
Yeah, exactly. But it's just, honestly, the Chelsea have just been really weird for the past year. Obviously, they had that issue early last year that dealt with. Todd's come in. I think in his head, and if anyone knows baseball, they would know what he did at LA Dodgers. He basically just goes and gets the best crop of players, no matter what. Doesn't matter if they don't get on with each other. He will just put them together. But that works in baseball because you don't need teamwork in baseball. You sit somewhere in the field and you wait for the ball to come towards you, or you're standing there with a stupid bat hitting a ball. That is all you need to do at baseball. This is football. You need to get in that dressing room and all be singing on the same hymn sheet. If you're not, it doesn't work. I don't want to bring my team into it too much, but that's what Arteta's done at Arsenal. He's got harmony. He's got rid of some bad eggs. They're all singing off the same hymn sheet. Some of them are playing way better than most people would expect. Let's say Xhaka. He's definitely performed way better than he has done ever at Arsenal. And this is what Todd hasn't realised. You just can't just go and get loads of players and go, right, there you go and play for Chelsea and perform. It doesn't work like that.
It doesn't at all. Just some other stuff coming out as well. It looks like Bruno Salto will be taking charge of Chelsea for the rest of this season. So
okay.
it looks like they will be looking at trying to get, obviously, Julian. I think that's who they're going for by the looks of it. But there is other names being now linked with the job as well. One of which is Luis Enrique. He's being linked. I don't think it will either.
England. He doesn't want to work in England.
No. Antonio Conte, he's being linked to the job now. And the last one, which I think is quite funny, is Mauricio Pochettino.
So basically, Chelsea and Tottenham are fighting for similar names. And the thing is, and I know Kevin said it earlier, Rebel said it earlier to me as a joke, but it's becoming more and more serious that Rodgers could be going to Tottenham. And I'm just like, honestly, I don't get it. How can you lose your job from Leicester, being sacked because he's that bad at Leicester, to then get Tottenham job? Now that even says something about Rodgers or something about Tottenham.
It says something, doesn't it? It does say something, but I mean, if I had those list of names in front of me, I know which one I'd be going for. Let's put it that way. If I was the manager, if I owned Tottenham or Chelsea, I know which one I'd be going for, because I wouldn't want Pochettino, because I don't think he's that good. I really don't. He were a one-season wonder, Pochettino. Conte, we've seen what he's like. He's unpredictable. Can't have Conte. Who was the other one? Luis Enrique. Obviously, he doesn't want to come to the UK. He'd rather stay in nice, sunny Spain or wherever. So, but Nagelsmann's probably got the most about him anyway. As a young manager, he knows what he's doing. You've got somebody with quite a brilliant footballing mind in charge of the team.
Yeah, that's definitely the one I'm thinking. And now I would have Nagelsmann. I know you've got Ten Hag, I've got Arteta, but I think if we hadn't had either of those right now, because obviously Ten Hag's doing a great job at United, Arteta's doing a great job at Arsenal, I would want Nagelsmann. I'm pretty sure you would as well. Yeah. You'd be happy with, So a United fan and an Arsenal fan agreeing on exactly the same manager, because he is well touted, and we've seen what he's done at Leipzig, and it was impressive. At Munich, he was trying to do a certain style, but it's player power at Munich. Some of them have been there way too long, and that's the problem with Munich. Some are just there for way too long. They've got this power above them. You can guess who I'm talking about. It won't take too long to work out which ones I'm on about, but I feel sorry for him. Obviously, he's still being paid by him, so it can't be that bad. But he's going to be coming to England. I can't see him going anywhere else now. I can't see him staying in Germany. PSG, can't see that happening. Not now, because I don't think that's his style of management either. Is just not having any competition.
No, I know what you're saying. Like it's a bit ridiculous when you think about it. I mean, Nagelsmann has done quite well, because he was obviously the manager of Hoffenheim as well before he went to Leipzig. 100 and if you're going to go into statistics kind of thing, 136 matches there, and it was an average of 1.53 points per match, which is a decent result in a very one-sided dominant league, which the Bundesliga was in. And he went to Leipzig, and he stepped it up 1.94 points per match. And then at Bayern Munich, which is why it confuses me why he's been sacked, he was on like 2.3.
Yeah, so it's not bad stats, is it? Let's be honest.
No, it's not at all. I mean, it's a bit strange. It's very, very strange. I don't know whether you've just seen that message that has been sent over, but it's cost Chelsea £21 million to buy Potter out of his contract.
Yeah.
And then they've sacked him, and it's cost them £60 million to sack him.
Yeah, it cost them that, because that was the one thing that wasn't released at the time, was how much Graham Potter cost. But it is what it is. And Ruben Amorim, the guy from Sporting, his release clause is 20 million. These managers have massive release clause now. They're just expensive as footballers can be for release clause. It's a beautiful thing because it just shows that the managers are now worth something too. But it is a bit of a joke, and I don't know how Todd's going to balance all this out because he has to. He has to balance it. You know, FFP does exist for every single club, no matter who you are. So Todd, listen in. You need to start balancing it out because it's not going to look good for you. It's really not, because the last thing you want is get another transfer ban.
I don't. I just don't see how they balance it out.
No,
honestly, even if they sell, like the players that I mentioned, or let go of the players that I mentioned before, they still probably need to find another £100 and odd million somewhere, which they just won't find anywhere.
No, they won't. They won't. Obviously, this is all breaking, and obviously, there's going to be more news as we go into the evening, as we go into tomorrow. Colm, are you doing any show anytime soon? Because obviously, you're feeling poorly at the moment.
Yeah, no, I am back tomorrow. Just push through it as I'm trying to do at the minute. I know I keep muting because I keep coughing my guts up, but yeah, I'm going to be on tomorrow at 7:30 here. So if there is any more kind of news on the Potter or anything to do with Chelsea or Tottenham or, Leicester, because they're looking for a manager as well now, I will probably cover some of that, but it is an FPL show tomorrow. We're going to have a look at the weekend and points and all that kind of jazz. I know it's not your kind of thing. And as I said earlier, I did the FM sim for the teams that was created from last week. I'm going to show the people who were part of that their results live as well. So they will get to see that. And then I believe on Tuesday, we have Rebel back and myself for the Football Lounge, where we talk absolute random rubbish about football. And then there's the Mullet Show on Wednesday at 8:30.
Yeah, and I'll be back next Saturday with the score, but it's a different score because it's just Premier League and Scottish Premier League because it's a bank holiday. So the Championship are playing on the Friday and the Monday. And then next Sunday, there happens to be quite a big game, which I am covering, which is Liverpool versus Arsenal. So I will be back to do that game. But big up to you.
Big game.
Oh, you're so funny.
I'm on about Liverpool. It's not a big game.
It's a big game for the Arsenal fans. When you see, because I know you do like to tune into my preview shows, when you see the previous results at Anfield for Arsenal, it's a big game. I promise you that.
Yeah,
We've not won there for ages.
A big game. A big game is defined against a team that could actually do something against your team. Liverpool can't do anything against anybody.
The thing is, when we played them at the beginning of the season, they did perform at the Emirates. I have to be honest, but ever since they've been, and
you've got to start going in your favour. Ever since they beat my club 7-0, they haven't won a game.
I know, it's mad, isn't it? It's mad. Mind you, what did I say at the point of that game? They still don't impress me. Liverpool looked awful, and that wasn't me having a dig at United either. It was the fact that
United were terrible.
United were that terrible, and they were again today. I have to be honest. I think Newcastle could have easily won 6 or 7 there today. But it's a chat that me and you need to have at some point when you're feeling better, because it does worry me a little bit that United seem to down tools quite a lot at the moment. That's how it looks to me.
I mean, without obviously going on to the whole United thing, because obviously we've got private chats and everything in the background, so we're all communicating that. I put in the private chat, top 4 hopes are starting to look a bit, slim for United now. Because I've said it before on shows and I'll say it again. Without Casemiro in that midfield, we have no midfield.
Correct. It is mad because today, awful. But we'll chat offline and talk about that more. But guys, really appreciate you tuning in. Obviously, it's breaking news, and if we can bring you any more, we will. But Colm will be back tomorrow night. So if there is any more news, Colm will also update you tomorrow. But we all wish you best. Get better soon, mate. But guys, we're definitely out. Thank you ever so much. Take care. Bye-bye.